Going on, Falcon fans? This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So today we're going to talk about some expectations. What we're gonna see from this game on Sunday against these Buccaneers. Of course, so many things to talk about. I think we are probably major underdogs. I don't think we actually probably been favored in any of the games we played. Maybe in the Seattle game we might have been favored, but for the most part we've been underdogs all season anyway. So I don't think it'll be any different this week. So we're going to go down there and see what this team is made of. I'm really interested to see how this team fares against this team this weekend. But we're going to get into some of the things about this week, what we actually can see, some expectations that I think. Of course, we'll get into a couple roster moves and things like that. Talk about Kyle Pitts, his impact on the game this weekend. So, guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys out here that talk about what's going on Bubba Gump. And then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So guys, like I said, of course, if you guys seen my short yesterday, I came out and I was talking about the actual release of Anthony Rush. It was kind of surprising because he's probably one of the biggest guys that we have on our defensive line. Of course, we know the issues with our defensive line all season, um, towards injuries and the things that I think the roster that we had when we came into the off season at that spot and to the spot we have now is like different. We got a lot of younger guys there. I think the defensive line been playing well in these first four games. But to be honest, I have not really mentioned, and I have not even talked about Anthony Rush that much. So at the end of the day, I think they reported that he played like 33% of the snaps. So really not a whole lot of snaps to go around. Um, so Arthur Smith mentioned that it was more, it's a performance thing. This is a performance league. If you don't perform, no matter what's the deal, you have to. Um, that's one thing about this roster, and we talked about this. We got a lot of guys still in injury reserve. Um, Nobody's safe. If you don't perform, you can definitely be let go. There's a lot of guys on 1 year deals, so that's what it is. A performance based league. This guy's not on long term contract. Was not really providing a lot to the team, so they released him. Still a little surprised about it, but Um, we'll just have to see. Now the Falcons still have not actually brought a fifth three-man up, so they still have one open spot. Sounds like it might be Isaiah Oliver that they bring up to the fifth three-man roster. He came back up in reserve today. Arthur Smith said he did look good this week during practice, so it could be Isaiah Oliver that they bring up. Also, you got to remember that they can also bring guys up to the practice squad as well. And then based off the active and inactive, they can actually activate some of those guys out the practice squad. So guys that could definitely fill in for Anthony Rush absence. Some guys that actually been playing pretty good. Of course, you got Timmy Horn or Dewar Anderson is another guy that they actually can bring up. Can fill in those roles. Those guys are already on active roster. Matt Dickerson is another guy they actually can utilize at that spot. Derek Tangelo was a guy, but it was reported that Derek Tangelo actually put on the injured list on the practice squad, so he won't be available to bring up. And then don't forget the two guys that they signed to the practice squad this week. Jaleel Johnson was the veteran guy that's been in the league for a while, and then Christopher Hinton. His dad actually played with the Atlanta Falcons a couple of years ago. So those are two more defensive tackles that they actually brought in and added to the fit three to the practice squad that they can move up if they just decide to do this weekend to the active roster. So those are guys that they can utilize to replace Anthony Rush. It seems like it's going to be done by committee, which is not like I said. Um, from these first four games, we really haven't seen some of the things that Anthony Rush have done. Not to mean that he have not done anything. Of course, when you're a defensive tackle that big, 300 and some 50 pounds, you take up blocks, and it could have been freeing up, guys like Taquan Graham, Grady Jarrett. We'll see what happens with Anthony Rush not going. But according to the coaching staff, the front office, it seemed like it's not a big deal because they actually released him. So um, they're the one been watching the film. They knowing what he's doing in practice. Um, his contributions and during games. That's what it is. So that's what's happened with Anthony Rush. But like I said, we got guys that are gonna fill in: Timothy Horn, Jaleel Johnson, Abdul Anderson, Chris Hinton, and Matt Dickerson. Those guys definitely can fill in and try to help out with their role um, to take over for Anthony Rush. Guys, let me know what you think about that. Um, we still didn't really get a good understanding about it. Did say a lot of things that he wasn't gonna talk about, you know, what happened in practice and things like that. But at the end of the day, it was pretty much based off the performance. And like I said, he only played 33% of the snap, you know, uh, in these first 4 games. So would they really be missing a whole lot from um, Anthony Rush moving forward? We'll just have to see. Still got to find out who's they actually gonna bring up on that 53-man roster. Once again, it sounds like it's going to be Isaiah Oliver, who's definitely can help us out this weekend against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You said beat Tom Brady. I agree with that 100%. Tom Brady is 11-0 against the Falcons. No secret that he's owned us. Um, but this is a different team. He said so himself. This is a different team that they played, the last couple of seasons while he's been at Tampa Bay. Um, I really think the fact that this team is not coming in overconfident, thinking they're just gonna steamroll the Atlanta Falcons. Um, so that's I like the respect there. I don't think that Atlanta Falcons is definitely is gonna surprise anybody anymore by their performance that they put on in these first 4 weeks. They do have the top 5 rushing offense, so these guys is definitely going to come in. They're going to respect the Atlanta Falcons. Some of the things that they'll be able to to hurt these guys moving forward. I think one of the coaches mentioned that the fact that the Atlanta Falcons is willing to actually run the ball 14 straight times, just to show you what kind of team and what kind of confidence they have in their running game. Because it's one thing to run the ball 14 straight times, but it's another thing the other team to know that you're going to run it and they can't stop it, right? So that's the kind of mentality that we're trying to provide. Other teams are starting to see that. That's what Arthur Smith what he wanted. He wanted to let them know that we're going to be a physical team in the trenches, and so far, that's what we have been doing in these first 4 games. So it's going to be really, really exciting to see um, how this defense line fare against Tom Brady this weekend. All right, so that's the roster news. Let's get into the big news. I think that had everybody pretty much, you know, thinking that it's probably going to be, you know, a L for the Falcons because Kyle Pitts is not playing. What's going on, Anthony? Um, so Kyle Pitts not is not there. Kind of figured this after he didn't practice yesterday and then practice Wednesday. Probably figured that he was not going to be ready. Like I said, it's just the 5th game of the season. Also, you got to remember, guys, our bye is way out there. I think it's like week 12, something like that. So we still got a lot of games to go, and we're playing week to week to week to week to week. So if it's just a small, hamstring injury right now, we don't want it to flare up and be a bigger issue for Kyle Pitts for the last the whole season. So if it's just small now, rest up. Yes, he's important. We're definitely gonna miss him on Sunday, but that's why you try to build your depth the way you build it. So if one guy goes down, you definitely it's not going to be too too hurt by it. The fact it is that we know we got CP out as well, so both of our targets from last year, top targets from last year, is both out this weekend against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So let's talk about the next man up that's could can definitely fill in the role for Kyle Pitts. In the blocking game, they have so many different ways they could utilize tight end from the blocking game. Of course, they can bring Parker Hesse in. He's been doing a pretty great job for that. Um, Anthony Fersker could pick up in the passing game. Of course, he's not going to be that threat like Kyle Pitts in the passing game, but he does great possession, tight end, be able to get third downs. Has a little familiarity with Marcus Mariota as well, so Anthony Fersker definitely can be somebody. And then we're going to talk about the guy that was lighting up everything in training camp and in practices, Felipe Franks. Uh, um, Coming from being quarterback, coming out, you know, playing that tight end position. We'll see if he plays a little bit more at tight end this week. I'm not sure how much confidence they have in him. Put him out there, against a good pass rush from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those linebackers coming off the edge, things like that. So it's interesting to see how much faith they have in Felipe Franks, but it's definitely could be somebody um, that that we could utilize in the passing game as well, and of course in the blocking games. They also could bring in and have somebody like Jermaine Fetty, bring him in and have an extra tackle out there to on some of the rundowns for us. So if we want to run the ball, we can bring another offensive lineman in, and he can actually be sit out there to help as well in the running game. So it's different ways that they can actually continue to be stout in the run game and be effective. Like I said, they could utilize. So that's what we need to do. Stick to the run game. They could utilize a tackle like I said, like a Jermaine Fetty, bring him in. Of course, our tight ends, Parker Hesse, has been outstanding in the blocking game. We use our fullbacks and things like that. They know we want to run the ball. We're not going to shy away from the running ball because they know we want to run it. Of course, we know they have a stout run defense, probably been one of the best run defense, throughout the years. The thing about it is it's complementary football, and the thing about being able to run the ball. I mean, our defense cannot, just give up touchdowns and touchdowns because it's kind of make us one dimensional. So if we're going to want to run the ball like we know we want to run it, our defense can't just can't go out and give up touchdowns at the touchdown. Which at the same time our offense can't can't go three and out. Put our defense back on the field. Some of the keys I talked about was run the ball, time possession, and playing that complementary football for our defense. Even Tom Brady mentioned that the running game actually helps out the defense a whole lot because more the offense is on the field, the less that Tampa Bay Buccaneers is offenses out there. So that's what we got to think about. Always important for us to definitely go in and try to establish the run game. So with Kyle Pitts being out, um, of course, we're not going to ask anybody on this team to try to take Kyle Pitts' place. We're going to have guys utilize their ability, their mindsets to go out and do the things that they do well. And hopefully, this coaching staff is savvy enough to utilize those guys to their strengths and not their weaknesses. So guys that I'm also talk about, we talked about Franks, of course, but in the receiving game, of course, first of all, we're going to talk about the quarterback, Marx Mariota. He definitely going to have to be sharp in this game, right? Um, Being able to utilize the play action pass off our run to actually make timely throws, right? We don't have to he don't have to go out and throw a 300-yard game, anything like that to change the things they've been doing, but he definitely gonna have to make timely throws. Of course, we know Drake London is going to be a factor, but guys like Brian Edwards, who's actually been inactive the um the last couple of weeks, see if he's going to be out there. Jared Barnhart, um, we brought him to the roster for some reason. We see if he can be able to help in the passing game. Of course, Cardell Hodge keep doing the things he be doing. Lumberjays and kids the same. So the passing game, those other offensive weapons that we have can try to pick up the slack since Kyle Pitts going to be out. But those are kind of things that we got to do. Run the game, complementary football. Run the ball, keep that Tampa Bay offense off the field, and let our defense be rested, so we can actually be in the game in the fourth quarter to keep doing the things that we want to do. Anthony said we need to stick to the run game. We killing them teams with it. Don't broke, don't fix it. Exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. Why shy away from it? They know we want to run the ball. It's no secret to that. So let's see, can they stop it? All right. They've been practicing all week trying to stop that run game. They're gonna put every effort into it to do it. We're gonna keep showing that confidence that we can actually do that thing. So let's see what we can do. You said Hesse, Fitzpatrick. You know, Fitzpatrick has not came back off the IR yet, so he will not be available. Um, Fisk, I forgot about Fisk. Um, but we definitely can utilize him. I'm got to make sure he's still on the roster. I'm not 100% sure if Fisk is on the roster, but we know Fitzpatrick is on the IR. Of course, you mentioned Keith Smith and Felipe Franks, all those guys. Um, So Kyle Pitts going to be out. We know it. We're aware of it. And they probably known that all week long. Just wait till the day to report it. So these guys got it in their mindset, next man up mentality. Let's go out. Let's perform. Let's play to our strengths. They don't have to worry about trying to be Kyle Pitts. They go out and be, you know, Anthony Fursker, go out and be Felipe Franks. If he gets some time, what's going on there? Go out and be, Parker Hesse. The things that you could do to help this team. We're not trying to ask these guys to actually be Kyle Pitts. So, um, but just like Anthony said, stick to the run game. That's the key. Make this a hard fought, slow grind game. Keep Tom Brady off on the sideline. Make it tough. Wear those guys out, and we can be there in the fourth quarter in this game. I guess a good chance. That's what we need to try to do. So try to stick around. Defense hold up. Offense put points on the board. Utilize the run game. Some of the keys I had was, of course, third down and red zone, right? So those got to definitely be key in this game and see what we can actually do. So that's Kyle Pitts. Like I said, it's not a surprise that he's out. Once again, CP Kyle Pitts out. Two of our most explosive weapons from last year is going to be out this game. But I'm interested to see how this team perform with these guys out. And honestly, surprisingly a lot, I'm not, entirely like so worried about the fact that these guys going to be out because the depth. We talked about the depth, so much. Um, these first 4 weeks, how deep this team is in a lot of positions, and this is times like this that you can actually show your depth, right? We kind of showed it last week, especially with our running backs, our young running backs with Tyler Algier, Caleb Huntley. Um, this week we need to show it in our passing game. All right, we revamped that whole receiving room. Only guys that's back is Lumde Zaccheaus. So um, this is the time to show the depth of this team, showing that when we have guys like Kyle Pitts out for a short period of time, guys like CP out for a short period of time, that these guys can definitely be successful running the offense that they've been practicing um, all off season, right? And this is where when you get your opportunities to show what you can do, this when guys need to step up. Like I said, Brian Edwards, we gave a draft pick for you. This is a time you need to step up and show what you can do, right? Jared Barnhart, good story during off season, made the team. You earned it. Go out and show us why we actually gave you that spot, right? Alumnida's kids keep doing what you're doing. Drake London keep doing what you're doing. Felipe Franks show why they decided to keep a converted quarterback that came over to tight end on the 53-man roster. We need to be able to show that. So that's the kind of things that we want to see. The depth of this team since Kyle Pitts and Cordell Patterson are going to be out for this Sunday's game. All right. What I want to see from the team, right? So, like I said, we talked about it a lot. And personally, what I want to see from the team is I'm gonna see some look at some key matchups. Definitely, one of the matchups that we all been thinking about is Tom Brady's favorite target, Evans, right? So I'm really trying to see that matchup between AJ Terrell and Mike Evans. I want to see that matchup. I think this can definitely be a big matchup for us. We know that's his favorite target. We've seen that Chris Godwin's actually going to play as well, so maybe he actually put on Chris Godwin. We'll have to see what they decide to do with that. Hopefully they bring back Isaiah Oliver. He definitely can help, but that been slot position been played by committee guys like Mike 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 coming in, Mike Ford coming in, guys like D Alford playing. So they don't have Eric Harris there playing that position as well. So that slot position is going to be big. Chris Godwin is going to say he's good to go. Julio Jones is questionable, so we don't know if he's actually going to play. I can see Julio trying to get up for this game and actually coming out and trying to play against the Atlanta Falcons. We'll just have to see. But those are the matchups I want to see. Definitely the cornerbacks, our secondary against their receiving core. That's one of the strengths of their team, their receiving core. They're not totally 100%, but with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin being back there, definitely is going to be a thing. Don't forget about Russell Gage as well, another slot guy they can utilize. We know what kind of talent he is. Can definitely get open, can be explosive at times. So our secondary against their receiving core is definitely going to be a big thing for us to look. Their tight end Cameron Brate is going to be out, so that's one of the less things that we do have to worry about is their tight end. But one of the things I would like to see definitely is um, our secondary against their receiving core. Let me know, guys. Some of the matchups you're thinking about. Um, Another matchup is definitely, we just talked about it. Anthony mentioned trying to run the ball as our O line against their front seven. Right. I think this is one of the things. What's going on, Brian? This is one of the things that we definitely can be talking about. After this game is how did our offensive line fare against their front seven? These guys know that we want to run the ball, right? We know we want to run the ball, so it's no secret. It's like when you talking about game plans and trying to trick the coordinators and players and things like that. What you're gonna do? It's no secret what's going to happen this weekend. The Atlanta Falcons want to run the ball. They want to run the ball a lot. That's what they do. So the fact that that's the case, right? And they have some very fast linebackers. We're not taking anything away from their linebackers. Their linebackers, Vita Vea is going to be an issue for us. These are the things we got to think about. But our offensive line, they loving the fact that they can actually run this ball hard, things like that. So one of the matchups I definitely want to be looking at is our offensive line against their front seven because at the end of the day, they know we want to run the ball. We gonna run the ball, um, and who's going to actually be the one that's actually going to win that matchup? To me, the trenches is definitely going to be um, the one thing that we definitely look at the end of this game as a whole. Who won in the trenches on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball, right? So if we could dominate the trenches like we did in that fourth quarter against the Cleveland Browns, I think we'll definitely be a team we'll like we were we at in the fourth quarter on Sunday. You say you would want to see Mariota have more pass completion, passing will help the run clock, take long drives when the ball 9 to 11 minute drives. Yes, yes. Mariota definitely and the thing about that is one of the keys that I talked about on Wednesday is third down conversions. right? So you run the ball, and people always looking at long runs, right? So you talking about getting 10 to 15 yard runs. No, 3 to 4 yard runs are good as well, right? Because 3 or 4 yard runs put you at second and six. Second and six give you so many things that you could do. You could pass, you still can run it again. So we want to be on third down. It's third and short. Give the defense so many things to think about on third and short. That's what we're trying to do. Right. Mariota is definitely going to have to make some throws in this game. He definitely we also can utilize him in the running game as well. His threat to run the ball is always an issue for that backside, right? That backside got to worry about the bootleg, and then got to also worry about the keepers, Marx Mariota coming out the backside as well. So those are some of the things that this Tampa Bay defense has got to be cognizant of, right? Um, they could put a spy for Marcus Mariota, but he's not that type of quarterback, right? So they got to worry about the run game. And so, spying him is not really what they want to do, because he's not back there to try to scramble and take off. That's not the kind of quarterback he is. He's it's all tailored off the running game, right? So he's pulling that ball down because he's reading that line is crashing in and he's coming out the backside. So those are the things that we want to utilize Marcus Mariota for. You're 100% right. He's gonna have to make throws. There's no question about that. But getting in the third and short, like I said, those short runs on first down, getting 3 or 4 yards on first down, put you in a good down and distance on second down. Then we want to be third and short on third down. That's how you get those 9, 10, 11 play drives and keep Tom Brady on the sideline. I'm sorry, but if we beat them bum ass Bucks with Kyle Pitts and everything, you know what? It, it's man, I don't know what it is. I just have a feeling that the Atlanta Falcons going to play good on Sunday. The circumstances, no Kyle Pitts, no Carter Patterson. In prior years, I would have been really concerned about having some of our targets out and things like that. But for some reason this year, that's just not the case. I feel confident still. Um, I know it's going to be different. It's going to be different because that element of Kyle Pitts being a weapon and exploiting their mismatches and things like that we don't have. But I just for some reason I'm kind of confident to see what I'm actually more interested in see how this team fares. Um, don't give Brady no time to get comfortable. Throw it on us the rack up points. Exactly. I mean, it's no secret. Tom Brady is a good quarterback. That's like, I guess you know if we didn't know that by now, I don't know where you've been, but Tom Brady is a pretty good quarterback. So we have to make it uncomfortable for him. We do not want him to get in rhythm. When he gets in rhythm, he kind of figure out what you're doing. It's kind of that's the end, right? Because once he figure out what you're doing, he's just gonna keep going to it, going to the well, doing the things he do, you know, and then we're at his mercy. That's not what we want to do. We want to don't let him get in rhythm. That's why those 9, 10, 11 play drives is so great because he's just sitting there watching it, right? And first down, third down, first down, third down, first down. He's just sitting on the sideline. And there's nothing he can do about it. Just hoping his defense make a stop. I'm gonna talk my shit. Which we win without picks. Yeah, man, it's going to be exciting if we can pull it off. I really believe that. Did you notice this? We stopped Kamara and the Rams run game and lost. Seattle and Cleveland had good run and we won. Good points. I mean, these last two games, it's been the bend don't break defense for the Atlanta Falcons. And what I'm meaning by that is the red zone. The red zone been really good for the Atlanta Falcons um this season. And Dean Pease even mentioned, in the The first two games in the red zone, it was because of the plays he called. He called man on man on outside, and he said, just at the end of the day, their man beat our man. It wasn't that the defense didn't play well. It was just man on man coverage. And when you do man on man, it's man on it's man on man. If the other man get the better of that your man, that's what happened. So of course we knew that's what happened. AJ in the red zone those first 2 weeks. Um, Going to be interesting to see if we get in that spot against Mike Evans. We know that that's one of Tom Brady's favorite targets in the red zone is going to Mike Evans with that fade route and things like that. We're going to see how AJ Terrell is able to do his things against that. I swear it's going to be lit Sunday. I'm talking about this game the entire week. Ball Brady somewhere, Grandpa. Yeah, man. Tom Brady. I mean, he's been in this league 23 years. We'll have to talk about things going on off the field and things like that. But we don't know, where his head is at right now. And all we've been seeing him being frustrated, this whole season. If you've been watching him play, coming to the sideline, breaking his tablets and things like that, upset with the linemen, upset with the receivers, things he's just not satisfied because the offense is not playing, to its potential. And we definitely don't want to be that team to give them that rhythm that they need, throughout the season. So let's let him continue to freaking feel bad and hate the way this offense playing. Don't let us be that team. I always said, a lot of teams look at the Falcons and say we the get right team. Hopefully, um, we can try to start changing that narrative. No, you can't get right against us. If you've been playing bad football, you can't use us to get back right. Let that be the Aints and the Panthers in this division this year. Brady looks like 50 cents in the movie he did about football. Oh man. Uh, Tampa is a front seven good against the mobile quarterback. Yeah, I mean they are. I mean their linebackers is outstanding. Their linebackers are outstanding. Um, but the difference is that Marcus Mariota, the kind of offense we run, it's more of it's more of a read option type offense where Marcus Mariota is not going back and passing and then trying to scramble after that. He's more of a unscripted kind of mobile quarterback where he's going out trying to read a play. Then if it's not there, that's when he takes off and things like that. He's definitely is going to be affected in that run game. Like I said, just at the mesh point, holding there to see what that if that defensive end crashes down, on the backside, try to stop that run and then putting it out. And he's going out on the backside. Um, Definitely, if they try to spy him on one of those linebackers, try to stay there, that's going to hurt him in the run game because that linebacker's needed, on that backside case of the cutback. And we know when you run that zone read, the cutback is big. So the fact that Marcus Mariota has the ability to hold that ball and put it out on the backside, it definitely helps the run game um, a lot. And people really need to understand about the run game, utilizing him as part of that run. Brian People says IO is return is the key. Yes, that's going to be big for us. They haven't announced 100% that he's going to be back yet, but since they have not actually brought a guy up to the 53-man roster, because they do have one open spot because they released Anthony Rush. More than likely, you're correct. It's going to be Isaiah Oliver that they're going to actually go ahead and activate this week, um, back to the roster. And I agree. I think he's going to have a big role for us this weekend. What's up, sir? There's such a different culture change with this team. I'm not current roster knows they're supposed to lie down. No, trust me. This team's starting to believe, man. If you listen to Grady's interview, you listen to the offensive lineman. This team is starting to believe that they can play with anybody in this league, and that's I think that is really because we always talk about the physical traits of teams and stuff like that, but mentally, it's always big when the team believes that they should win, right? This team's starting to believe, and and you can hear it in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers um, interviews this week. All right, they on paper, people can say they got a better team, but I promise you this, that they're not doubting this team. It's not, they realize that when they look at the film, it's not the Falcons, from last year. It's not the Falcons from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. This is a different Falcon team this year, and they know they're going to be in for a fight. All right, and that's all you want, right? You want to put that doubt in the other team, because for the longest, um, like I said, a lot of teams feel like they just come in, and, and the Falcons just going to roll over for them because they're such a better team. This team is coached very well. They're going to be prepared no matter who's out there. I know everybody talk about Kyle Pitts not going to be out there, but I promise you, they're going to put the guys that's out there to be successful in a role that they can actually be successful in. They're not going to ask these guys to go out and run a route like Kyle Pitts would do. They're not going to put Felipe Franks in a tight end screen, or Anthony First in a tight end screen, and ask him to run that route. So trust me, these guys are confident, and I agree with you. This culture is completely different. We need to beat him. I didn't know against us. Actually he's 11-0 against us. So um yeah, he's 11-0 against the Falcons, not 8-0, 11-0. So that's that's big time. We have never beat him. What up, bro? Let's get it. I hope we do, man. I want to see Caleb, big boy dog, continue to produce. Me too. I want to see him. I want to see Tyler Algier do their thing. Those guys, big, they run hard. Um, and I want us to set the tone early too. Right? Eh, You know, momentum is big. These guys come out, and this is what we know, right? Let's say come out, the Falcons come out first series, and we run the ball, and we get stopped on the first three plays, right? We punt the ball, right? Um, that don't mean the Falcons gonna stop running the ball. Trust me. The next series, they come out and they're gonna try to run the ball again. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers know that all game long, you have to face that run game. That's why it's important for us to get off to a good start, because we don't want Tom Brady to jump up and then we get it like to a one-dimensional game and have to pass all over the field, because that's not our strength, especially with our quarterback. So running the ball is going to have to be key. Why Deion Davidson not activated? You think they're getting traded possibly? He mentioned that they're just on a different timeline than Io, so we don't. He didn't actually mention where their status was. He just mentioned that they was on a different timeline than Isaiah Oliver. So we'll just have to see about those guys. I actually, be honest, I am more confident that Marlon Davidson's coming back than a guy like Deion Jones. It's just because it just seemed like they don't want him to you know moving forward with this organization. That's just what it seems like. We just have to see, but until they come back off the injury reserve, you know, remember when they do come off, they have that 21 days to be activated. They don't make it, back to the active roster by the 21 days. They go back on the IR. So um, we have time. We don't have to. They didn't have to activate them right after week the 4 weeks. They could do it anytime they get ready. So we'll just have to see. But they are designated to return. Um, and I think they mentioned, which is interesting news for you guys just to know that they could only do that with 8 guys. So they had originally 5, and then they did um, CP, and they did Damian Williams. So that's 7. So they only got one more guy they can actually put on the injury reserve. So anybody else that does get hurt, they're done for the season. So that's one note to just think about. Um, so we'll see. how that works out for us. But um, I thought that was interesting, just information for everybody to know. Noah King hits Logan Ryan or Cameron Brake. That's right. So they're without guys as well. But trust me, Vita Vea gonna be ready to go. Those two linebackers is definitely gonna be ready to go. Um, so it's gonna be a good front seven anyway, regardless. What's interesting, if we talk about front sevens, I like our front seven because their offensive line is really a work in progress as well. They got a rookie center, so Grady Jarrett could really have a big game up the middle. That's one of the things that Tom Brady really hates, up the middle pressure. Um, Hopefully, Ebiketie, Lorenzo Carter, those guys can take advantage on the outside as well. They got a rookie tackle on the outside, so those are kind of things that we can take advantage of as well on the outside. But I believe the key in the game is really going to be our secondary against their pass catchers. They got some great pass catchers out there. Like I said, that's one of the strengths of their team. So our secondary got to be able to hold up. Of course, it's hand to hand, right? That pass rush got to work with the secondary. But if our secondary could hold, up initially and not give up those quick passes, because we know Tom Brady wants to get rid of the ball fast. We definitely can see where um, we can get home with that pass rush because our secondary is able to hold up. All right, all right, all right, all right. So, guys, the last thing I want to talk about today is this statement here. So, especially now, like I really, really, where does this team stack up against the NFC? So, coming into this season, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this for this game and next week game against the 49ers, right? Um, both of these teams was one of the teams that they pick to actually, be in the playoffs this year, right? In NFC. So, and all the things that we're dealing with, two of our most explosive guys on offense is going to be out, right? Kyle Pitts and Cordell Patterson is going to be out in both of these games coming up. I'm really curious to see, and I mean, I'm not really thinking about the wins and losses. Definitely want to get a win. Um, and I believe we could, get a win against the Bucs and the Niners for next week. But what I really want to see, what I really want to see is just how this team plays against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. Like I said, this is one of the favorites for a lot of people. One of the so-called juggernauts in the NFC, and I want to see how the Atlanta Falcons stack up against this team. Um, that's with our two main guys on offense. Is down, right? I want to see these young guys. I want to see how these, because it's not just for this year. I think moving forward in the future, because a lot of these guys are young. We got a good young offensive line that can definitely gel throughout the years and get better and better. We got a good running back room that we got. We can definitely use these guys for a long time. Good young receiving core, right? Of course, we got a bridge quarterback now. We don't know how long Marx Mariota is going to be here, but what I want to see from these next two games, um, not just talking about the win loss records, right? Because um, they could lose, and I still would be confident that how good this team is going to be. But I'm really just want to see, last year when we played really, so-called good teams, we got blown out by those teams last year. But this year it's not have been the case. We've been in every game, all four games. We've been there. Had a chance to. We could have had a great chance to be 4-0 this year. So the fact that this is one of their juggernaut teams that the whole the national media is saying is good. They got the gold on the team. Like I said, they got so many weapons. You look at on paper, they're supposed to be outstanding. They got a good defensive coach, one of the best defenses in the league, right? Um, I want to see how the Atlanta Falcons stack up against these guys this week. And especially the fact now that Kyle Pitts not going to be there, Cordell Patterson's not going to be there. So a lot of less things they got to prepare for against us. Um, a lot of unknown for them because Tyler Algier, yes, him and Kalen Huntley had one good game so far in the NFL. So how much respect do they have for these guys, right? Um, this offensive line, yes, it's been playing well this year, but this one offensive line last year where it was one of the worst offensive lines in the league. This defense um, gave a 2,200-yard rushing last year, only had 18 sacks. So all these things that plagued us last year from this team. This year, we definitely could come out and actually see um, what this team stands for this year. So, um, for me, more than anything, definitely want us to get the win. But what I want to see how we, Atlanta Falcons, stack up against everybody's, you know, supposedly Super Bowl pick in the NFC going to the NFC Championship game. This is one of the teams. Of course, they have 49ers was one of the teams. So our back-to-back week, we got two, supposedly playoff teams that we're going up against. We're the lowly Falcons, supposed to be win two games this year. I want to see how we fare against both of these teams this week. Um, and that's going to tell me a lot about where this team is, how confident it is. Um, can we still do some of the things that we've been doing this year and stay in games and be competitive and leave it down to the last possession if that's what it takes. um Trey Barcer said take on ground with 3 sacks Sunday. Oh, so he's due, man. He's been there. He's been wreaking havoc on the offensive lineman. um Hopefully he does get him a sack this week. Been against so much talent already. No team is scary. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a different team this year. I agree 100%. But at the same time, um, this is the team that everybody expects to be there, right? This is the team everybody expects to be there in the end. So I want to see where the Atlanta Falcons stack up against this team, especially now. And if you gamble, I know a lot. Just think about Atlanta has broke the spread every time. They're the only team in NFL has 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 not met the so-called spread that they had on this team. So right now, the um the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got an 8-point spread on us. Interesting to see if they can actually hold up to that, or if they're gonna people gonna lose their money again this week, betting against the Falcons. So I just love that. Um, we just got to see what happens. They'll say the Falcons are king of the South. We're gonna find out this week. We're gonna find out. Right this point, whoever wins this game is gonna be in the lead in the NFC South. Right. This game is have a lot of implications as well. You think about it. We won two straight. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have lost two straight. This would be the first time Tom Brady has lost um, three straight games since like 2006, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's some years. So he has not lost three games in a row in a long time. So that would be a first for him in a while. All right. And guess what? It'd be a first for the Atlanta Falcons. We win three games in a row. So, um, and then we be over 500 for first time in a long time as well. We had a lead in NFC South. Um, so those kind of things that we definitely want to see. Meter Mills, what's up, Meter Mills? Break two streaks. Yes, definitely. We can win three. We can win three in a row. They can lose three in a row. That's what we got on the line this week. Um, what I kind of hope, and what I kind of hope, I hope they kind of come in underestimate the Falcons, thinking what they've been seeing is a fluke, right? I think they're gonna find out when they kick that ball off on Sunday afternoon that nah, this a different team out here this year. These guys are ready to go. Like I said, these guys are confident, man. Um, you can just hear it when they talk, right? They believe in one another. They believe in the coaching staff. They believe what's being asked of them. Because guess what? The results just been showing on the field. You can see it. These guys are doing their thing. They're getting it in, making things happen. So um, you just gotta love what you've been seeing from this team this year. Hold on just a minute. So you gotta like what you've been seeing from this team this year. Um, I just can't wait, right? Can't wait to see what happens. Hopefully, we come back on here on Sunday, and these guys have, you know, not us. We're not gonna be shocked, right? I think us Falcons fans, we've been with this team, this version of the team, since the off season, right? We've been watching this team. We've been talking about this team. We've been seeing, the progression these guys building up all the way to this point. So the things that they doing on the field, it's not surprising to us, right? We've seen the competition that these guys were playing with and during training camp. We've seen it, right? Right. We've seen now these guys had trip on the shoulders, right? Um, we've seen the way they've been talking. We've seen the belief that they have. So um, what they do on Sunday, hopefully get that W, right? Get that W. Um, it won't be a surprise. That's what we need to see. Anthony said the last time Tom Brady was 2002. Whoa. So that's almost 20 years. So last time he lost 3 games in a row was almost 20 years, guys. Man, I mean, that's a big stat. That's that's man, that's also tell you how good Tom Brady's been, right? Wow. Good. Well, how good his team's been. He haven't lost 3 games in a row since 2002. That's amazing. And then he said, "Rise up, Falcons." All right. So, hey, let's just put it in perspective. What all we know this week, all right? Let me go ahead and do the pity party for the Atlanta Falcons, right? Tom Brady has never lost against the Atlanta Falcons. That's the first thing, right? Tom Brady has never lost against the Atlanta Falcons. Kyle Pitts, Cardell Patterson, it's not there. Marx Mariota has not been playing well. He's nowhere in, you know, Tom Brady atmosphere. They got the best run defense in the league. They got some of the best receiving cores out there, right? We got young running backs in the back, right? So, right, the Falcons have nothing to lose. We should not win this game on Sunday, according to all the stats and what people say and things like that. Tom Brady ain't lost in 20 years, 3 games in a row. Why are we even going to watch the game, right? Why do we think the Falcons have a chance, right? So those are kind of things that if you have that losing mindset, right, and you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in what you've been seeing this year, those are the kind of things that you got to tell yourself. So we're going to go out there. We're going to because the Falcons don't care about the history of Tom Brady and what he did last year, what he did in the Super Bowl against us, what he did the last 2 games, last 2 seasons against us. We don't care about any of that. We care about what we're going to do on Sunday and how this team is playing right now and with the confidence they're playing with. But hey, you know what? He's questionable, man. So he's questionable. So I don't even know if Julio actually going to play in the game. Um, I would think he would want to play. I would think he will want to play against the Atlanta Falcons this week because the last couple of times he had a chance to play us, he didn't play like the preseason game last year. He sat out. He didn't even come to Atlanta. So we'll see. He's questionable right now. It's amazing he only played in one game this year. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna keep saying it. We fleeced the Tennessee Titans in that trade. Um, we got Troy Anderson, one that could be one of our future linebackers in that trade. So thanks to Tennessee Titans. You got 1 year out of Julio. He was hurt most of the season, right? And look at him now. Um, he might just need to hang it up, man. He can't stay healthy. That's what it is. Played one game. He did play a little bit last week as well, but him being questionable this week is really interesting because he still is not healthy enough to get off the injury report. But I'm really anticipating him to play this week. We just have to see. So at the end of the day, it don't matter who's out there. We're gonna strap up. Billy Mill said we fleeced Indy too. Yeah, you might be right about that. Watching that game last week, man, last night, I really felt bad for Matty Ice, man. That offensive line is better than the Falcons' offensive line. I'm sorry to say, Matt. Don't get me wrong. Matt did not play well. He threw two picks directly to the guy, things like that. But he does not. He have less time behind that offensive line that he had when he was playing with Atlanta Falcons. That's just the truth. The offensive line is it's atrocious, man. It's bad. It was bad. It was 100% bad. We cannot deny that. But yeah, I think we might have got Indy too. Then I mean, let's not forget. I think the Broncos. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks might have got the Broncos, and they gave him over $245 million for Russ. Woo! The way he been playing these first four games, man. Um, that was a bad game to watch last night. And the Atlanta Falcons supposed to have the worst roster. It has supposed to have the worst team in the NFL, right? But I guarantee you, our game would never be that bad. Maybe the third quarter in the Browns game, that was pretty bad football. That third quarter last week, right? I think nobody could get anything done. Two teams, but hey, for the most part, man, it was a pretty good game. Pretty good fault run game for us. Come on now, Russell will be okay. Come, hey, I hope so. I mean, I hope for their sake, they paid him $245 million. I hope he be okay. I hope so. Indy has started a different line. Yeah, yes, they have, man. Like I said, and then they had the rookie playing left tackle last last night. That was just set up, man. You said, "Look, ain't no black quarterback." Yeah, I mean, but Russell Wilson, he just not been playing good this week. I mean, if you look at his last four games, from last year, he threw 11 touchdowns, two interceptions. His last four games last year in Seattle. All right, that's the rush they thought they was getting. Um, the fairness to him, it's a new offense. He got to get used to the offense, the receivers, and things like that. So it's going to take time, but um, I think they just people expect him to do more than what he's been doing. That that's what everybody they disappointed. I think they expect Russell Wilson to be Russell Wilson, and that he's not been doing that. So, oh yeah, I know. I mean, it don't matter to me either way. I'm a Falcons fan, so I'm just being real with you. I love football. I watch football, and but for me, I'm a Falcons fan, so hey, I can care less what they doing over there, Broncos. I just hope if we play them, we beat them. Yeah, yeah. So, oh, he didn't play in the preseason. I didn't. I wasn't even aware of that. I see. That's what I'm saying. If you just look at that to that point, he ain't playing preseason. He's still learning the offense, right? Um, it's gonna take time. I mean, and also you think about Matt Ryan. Everybody knows Matt Ryan history. That first season and that first new offense for him, he always is a little bit behind, right? Because I really don't recall Matt Ryan having an armband, on his arm trying to read plays out. which means to tell me he does not know the offense, good enough to just to call out the offense and know where all his guys going to be at and be able to, take that drop back and step and throw on time. Right now, he's guessing out there. You can see it. Offensive line already is bad, and he doesn't know. So it's going to take him time as well. Not like I said, either way, it don't matter for me by either of those teams. But I really thought Matt Ryan was going to have a better start as well in during the season. I mean, he's a new coach, man. You got to give him time as well. Yeah, he looked lost though. He really do look lost. But that's what you get with a new first time head coach. Because you got to think about it. He was big in offense in Green Bay, but he didn't have to make those head coaching decisions. You know, do I go for it on fourth down? Do I get a ball to my quarterback? Do I kick the field goal? Everybody felt like he probably should have went for it last night in that 4th and 1. They was at the goal line, but maybe they probably should have ran the ball. So, um, and maybe they should have put it in Russ' hand and rolled him out. They kept him in the pocket, and he was late on that throw anyway. But if you looked at it, he did have a wide receiver wide open. So yeah, they horrible. That O line is real bad. It's really worse than the Falcons O line all these years. Yeah, we see why. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we got somebody saying another thing to consider about the Falcons is Marx Mariota came to town with familiar coach system, whereas most of the other quarterbacks involved all season. Yes, and that's such a good point. Um, and guys, we could talk about Marcus Mariota play, on the field and the fumbles and things like this. But one thing we can say, his command of the offense has been outstanding. I mean, think about all the different formations, how he get all the guys in the right spots. He know how to get those guys in the motions and plays like that. He understands his offense, and you can tell he has the command of the offense. That's one thing that can't go, unnoticed about Marcus Mariota. All the bad things he do and things like that kind of drive us crazy. You know, but at the same time, his command of the offense it's been outstanding. Being able to get these guys in position to make the plays and things like that. And to your point, him knowing the offense and have that familiarity with it, it's been good for him. I think they tweaked it a little bit to fix some of his, from some of his strengths that he has. Which what I would think that if a guy like Desmond Ritter get in, they would change it just a little bit. I know they say they run the same offense, but I think that they would tweak a little bit to fit Desmond Ritter's strengths a little bit as well. Um, right? You said that some don't have that luxury, right? Like Russell, Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan, they learned a total new offense. You got to come in and try to figure things out. She said, "Yes, the coach looks. Yeah, he does. Hopefully he's able to make it, man. He's getting beat up right now. Some of his decisions. Although he look, he's better than him or Matt Rule. I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna give Nathaniel Hackett a pass. It's his first year. Matt Rule's been there a while. Um, I don't know what Matt. I think he should have kept Brady. Should have kept his offensive coordinator. You know, there he decided to get rid of him. I think he should have kept him, and if I think that would have been better. I had nothing against the offensive coordinator got, but when they keep bringing all these old, archaic offensive coordinators in, like we did with Duck Carter, right? We bring guys like that in that's been in the league for a long time with that old style offense. Sometimes it don't work, and that's what he did. He decided to bring in a older offensive coordinator, and it's not been working for him, and that's his fault. So Bridger said, folks don't understand that he leads the offense well, but folks want to point out the negative, which some of the things. Yeah, like I said, you have to give him credit. for that. Yes, he does have to play better. He got to start making some of those throws. He's been inaccurate in some plays. He looked like he said he now this week he said he's not rushing, right? He said that um it looks like it is like he getting sped up, but I think Dave Ragone said it best, the offensive coordinator, is the fact that what he needs to do is fundamental, right? First thing you're supposed to do when you snapping the ball is look the ball into your hands. That's the stuff like that's what it seems like he's just kind of too fast on that. Look the ball in your hand, make sure you got the play, then execute the play. So that's some of the things that it seems like was not happening for Marcus Mariota. But for as the running the offense and doing those kind of things, I think he's been outstanding in that. Um, and honestly, I don't know if Desmond Ritter is capable of doing that kind of running it up, being that much command of the offense right now. Yes, yes. If you watch it, some guys be like, "What we doing?" And he tell them, "You get over there, you get over there." I mean, those are the small little things, the details in games that people don't see, and those because you got to get the guys got to be in the right position to execute on plays, and if they're not doing that, um, you know, it's going to be bad. So, Bridget says Matt Rule is garbage. His third. Yeah, he's a good college coach. Some guys can make it in college. That's why Nick Saban went back to college. Some guys just can't coach in the pros. I mean, it's just the fact. He's a good college coach. Matt Rule was able to change around two programs in college. Maybe he need to go back to college, but right now I think he's going to be on a hot seat, and I hate to say it, it's probably going to be Baker Mayfield that get him there. Baker Mayfield probably is going to get him fired this year. He the one made decision. Of course, they traded for Baker Mayfield, but he the one made decision. I think he should have started with Sam Darnold, right, and then decided to put Baker Mayfield in after that. But now you already went to Baker Mayfield. He has the worst QBR in the league right now. So I mean, so his decision to go ahead and you got to think about it. Baker Mayfield got there late, you know, during the offseason. So he had to get caught up with the offense. That's why I think, probably should have started Sam Darnold, gave Baker Mayfield more time to learn and get familiar with the offense before you just threw him in. Now you're stuck, and I think he's probably end up getting fired. So good point. Bridget says that's another thing. I'd rather have Mariota than Baker. Even, yeah, 100%, 100%. I never really thought Mayfield was a good quarterback. Um, he's a good college quarterback. What he won, he took Oklahoma real far. Do the things he do, but he never had the number one overall pick talent. I don't think he had that, and maybe no quarterback in that class did. I mean, Sam Darnold was picked number 3 overall, and look at he's been already traded as well. So neither one of those quarterbacks. But you got to look at a couple quarterbacks that came win after them. Lamar Jackson, right? Josh Allen. Those guys in that draft as well. So maybe somebody made a mistake on their picks. so so let's think about that. All right, guys, that's all I have for the day. I'm finna go ahead and get out. Being talking about like an hour on here. It says so. It's official. Kyle Pitts is out on Sunday. Yes, he's out. Kyle Pitts will not play. But the good thing about that, and I talked about it earlier. The good thing about it, the Falcons know Kyle Pitts probably was not going to play since Wednesday, so they don't have time to game plan and scheme. Yes, it kind of hurts. Um, the fact that now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't have to worry about that threat of Kyle Pitts. They can kind of focus on you know on what we do. Well, I was just trying to run the ball and things like that. But that's why I said earlier is this is the time for guys like Brian Edwards, right? Brian Edwards, the guy we gave up a draft pick for to bring in from the Raiders, he needs to step up. If they activate him, they haven't activated him in the last 2 weeks, so hopefully he steps up. Barnhart, right? Jared Barnhart, can he provide some kind of spark for us this week? Um, Hopefully Drake London, Lumdays the kids keep doing some of the things they've been doing this season. But and let's just hope that Marx Mariota can make those timely throws that we need him to make this week. So Kyle Pitts is not here, but those are the things that we definitely got to 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 focus on, getting to third and short, you know, winning on third, having a good third down percentage on offense this week, and putting points on the board in the red zone, having those long extended drives, 10, 11, 12 play drives to keep Tom Brady on the sideline. Don't let him get in a rhythm. Then we do get on defense, um, put that pressure up the middle and kind of get him right up. They got a rookie center right there. Put Grady right over that rookie center. Let him destroy him, a couple of times. Get Tom Brady flustered, and then let's see, can we get some turnovers on the backside. So um, that should be the game plan. We'll see what happens. We'll see what we do this Sunday. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a good game, no matter who's out there, Kyle Pitts or not, CP or not. I think these guys going to have a fight on their hand against this hungry, um, competent, confidence, young Atlanta Falcons team, and I think they know that. So last one, Mariota got to get better at passing, and our receivers have to catch the balls and try harder to get open more. Yep. Hey, you know what? That's 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 offensive. That's NFL offensive football right there, 100%. Wallace said, "Yes, it's official. Yes, yes, he will be out. Yep, 100%, 100%, 100%." So, guys, like I said, that's all I have. Let's go out. Let's get ready for these guys on Sunday. Come back in here on Sunday at evening. Talk about the win. Talk about the Falcons being 3-2. We're going to break some streaks, right? We're going to go ahead and make sure Tom Brady gets his third loss in a row since 2002. We're going to put that first loss on Tom Brady against the Atlanta Falcons, right? We're going to make us over 500 for the first time in 5 years and have that lead in the NFC South in a long time. So that's where we're at. Glad to see you guys here. Talk to you on Sunday. And this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.